Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Software and Internet Monthly Market Report brought to you by Sanford Advisors for February 2021. Another fantastic month in terms of the M&A markets for the software. 17 billion invested in February, 121 transactions, which we'll talk about in the kind of trend of things in a minute. And the median revenue multiple was kind of 3.5 times across all transactions. So a little bit more of a normalization there, given a little bit more data points. I think interestingly, there was a lot of notable transactions above the $1 billion mark. Matterport, Glue, Gearbox, Play Studios, and then Canada's own Galvanize. So lots of $1 billion plus transactions and another $1 billion plus transaction out of Canada, which is very encouraging for the Canadian ecosystem. You can still see the deal volume. So we were a little bit short of the last couple of months, obviously, but still way above the kind of average that we were seeing pre-pandemic, of 2019 and early 2020. So still a very good amount of volume. I think this is going to bounce around a bit, but we do think that it will continue to be above that kind of, on average, 125 to 140 transactions a month, but just given the amount of volume that's going on right now. So still very good signs. How does that kind of play into volumes and predicted volumes for the year? Well, if you annualized everything, there's a big jump here. So the line in this chart shows the number of transactions that are predicted for the whole year. So that would jump dramatically if we continue this pace. Unlikely that we're going to be at the 1,800 mark, which would kind of set a recent record. But we're still definitely going to be above the lows of 2019 and 2020 for sure. And then, where does it kind of average out or predict out on the dollar volume side of things? Well, at the moment, at this current pace, it's going to be a really strong year. So we would expect, to exceed the 2019 and 2020 levels by some amount if we continue this pace. And then on the multiples, I think last month these looked a little bit weird because of the limited number of data points, and it's definitely normalized. So you can see here that, we're definitely upticking from last year in terms of the multiples, but not quite as crazy as what we showed you last month. So we're on the SaaS side of things, 5 times revenue, and on the non-SaaS things, a slight discount of 4 times. So both pretty encouraging. I think this probably, we've always kind of said that this average is going to range between 4 to 5 times on the SaaS companies and 3 to 4 on the non-SaaS. So pretty much right where we expect it to be and continue to be for the rest of the year. On the VC side of stuff, similar picture. Lots of invested capital going into transactions with 11 billion. We'll see how that kind of puts in context of recent years. 325 transactions in February and a median deal size of $4 million. Some really big deals, obviously, like Robinhood at 3 billion. Databricks at $1 billion. So very encouraging to see the continuation of the really late stage transactions. You can see actually the multiples were disclosed for Reddit, UiPath, and Databricks, and they're all extremely elevated. So, the lowest one of those 3 there is 37.5 times revenue. So pretty insane numbers that are happening on late stage VC raises right now. And really going to bring up the kind of average multiples that are being paid for sure. You can see, where were we on the deal volume? So the bar chart is the actual dollar volume. So if we annualize the 2 months that we've had so far, that would take us to one of the biggest year, the biggest year by far that we've ever had. I don't think that's going to be the case, and we're not going to hit $100 billion of invested capital in 2021, but I think we're definitely on pace to well exceed the 2020 high that we saw last year. Interesting, the difference here with the M&A market is that the deal volume has continued, the number of deals has continued to slide. So we're down at like under 4,000 on an annualized basis right now. And then lastly, on the valuations, you can see the valuations have spiked. I would say continue to expect these to normalize, but some of those big deals are definitely dragging up valuations here. But we would expect them to kind of level out for the rest of the year at levels consistent with 2020. Anyway, have a great month, and we look forward to talking to you next month.